Hi everyone, this is Patty. I'm here today doing a guest spot for Meg's Garden. As many of you know, I used to be on her design team and she contacted me and wanted to know if I wanted to play with one of her new designs, which is called White Flowers on Green. Now when you go to Meg's store, which the link will be down below, you can either order the paper, the physical paper and elements and whatever from her store. She's lots of great things. Or you can order a digital download it directly to your PC or Mac and print it out at your leisure. So whichever works best for you and is most cost effective because it is shipping from Australia. Okay, so let me show you what I've made. I've made a mini album and I'll be back with another video showing you some cards that I made with the scraps. The book is 6.5 by 8.5 with a 2 3/4 inch spine. And I'm not going to go into the detail of how I did the outside. I'll do that at the end. That way if you want to skip over it, you can. Okay. I have elements from this collection on the front along with some metal pieces that I had purchased myself. The fan is a flat piece, and if any of you watched my preview video of this, I showed the sheets and said that I was going to fussy cut them out. A couple of you said, oh, how can you fussy cut all that stuff? Well, these are all the things that I fussy cut out, and they do work out great. But like the fan was just a flat item, so I just pleated it, inked it. I added some, where is it here? I added some Glimmer Glam in Rustic from Tattered Angels, and I've used this in a couple places, but I just put it on the very tip of the fan here, tied some little cording, and I left that free so that it can dangle. I have a piece here back behind. This is one that I won, and this is from Creative Embellishments, and they have all of these laser cut elements. Well, they have this Eiffel Tower which goes perfectly with this collection. So I used another Glimmer Glam. I had it right here. Oh, here it is. I don't know if you can get this one anymore. This one was called Rockin' Sunshine, but any kind of a gold. And this stuff has a lot of gritty glitter in it, and when you put it on, you can see what a gorgeous, see the shimmer there? I've also sprayed some iridescent gold or dazzling diamonds over the top of the elements before I place them on the book, and you can see they pick up glitter. I've used glossy accents on the hands of the clock. Tore and roughed up the edges of the little gal here. Took my stamp scissors to take that decorative edge on the ticket and put in some leaves that I had back in my stash. This acetate butterfly, and I forgot to check. Meg used to sell these on a sheet, and if they're still available, I'll put the link to them. I have used them and used them. I don't know how many come on the sheet, but I just fussy cut them out, and I love the dimensional. Ooh, see? You can see the acetate dimensional look to it. So let's take a peek inside and see what we have here. There are 4 pages. And if you want to know how I do the hinge system, there's a video in my videos that says how do I do that. And each one, I won't take them all out because they're all the same, has a mat. The mats are 5 1/4 by 7 inches. They have, this is that Stampin' Up! Label punch, which you can't get anymore, but maybe you could use any kind of a decorative pull edge on it. This is Spill Binders. Oh, I don't remember the color. It's a cream cardstock that I used today. And I use this same stamp throughout in many places. When you put your photo on this, you're not going to see this, but in the interim, or if you were to journal on it, at least you have a little bit of pretty. This is a Kaiser Craft. It's an old stamp set, and it says Magic Happens is the name of it if you wanted to search for it. I love this flourish. And these just tuck in the side pocket here, and like I said, I'm not going to take the others out because on camera I always have a hard time getting them in. It's like, I don't know, so I just staggered the pulls on them. On the front I have a pocket cut from the paper. This is one of the little fussy cut ladies. I took some lace that I had and used different inks and colored it so it was kind of the same tones of green. I had this little metal butterfly in my stash as well as the pearls. Behind the lady is a tag cut from the paper line, and again I've used that flourish on it, tied it with some colored seam binding, and it just slips behind her. That would be a great place to post some notes about what is in this little mini. Here's one of the elements from the paper, just what do you want to call it, roughed up and torn. I think I used my scissors on this, and then inked. Now the inks, I have used a combination. Now I didn't use the Dusty Concord in this, but I used it in the cards that are come. Didn't use the Victorian Velvet either. Sorry, have these all out here. I used the Walnut Stain, the Forest Moss, and the Bundled Sage throughout. And then I used a combination of Glimmer Mist to do my backgrounds, and all I did was cut the papers from that same cardstock, that Spellbinders cardstock, corner rounded them, inked the edges, and then I sprayed them. And let's see if I can find, I used Olivine in Glimmer Mist. I used a little bit of Sun Sisters, which is a real glimmery one. And then I used a pink. And let me see. Oh, it's not this. It's this little bottle here. I used, and I know it looks orange here, but when you get it on, you can see when I shake it, you get that orangey or that pinky color. I just splashed a little bit of pink to carry it through, and this is called Baby Girl Pink. And that worked good. I think those are primarily the ones that I used on all of these throughout consistently. And I did that because I didn't like the plain mats, and I just love how this looks. And until you get your pictures on, at least you have a pretty, and then when you put your picture, and I meant to grab one so I could show you, darn. When you put your picture here, like say this is your picture, and this isn't big enough by any means, but say this was your picture, you're only going to have your mat of this little bitty green behind. The rest is going to be whatever your photo is. So that just slides behind, and you can see I just sliced the paper around the rose here and left it as a pocket. But I forgot to put a liner underneath, and some of this, the craft cardstock was showing. So I just cut another strip and put over the top of this so that you didn't see any of the craft. Just my little OCD there. And then we stick this one in. I have a little Prima flower here and more fussy cut pieces from the package. Here again, more pieces from the package. Another one of Megs' acetate butterflies. I hope she still has those. If she doesn't, maybe I can convince her to put them back in the store. Here's a bookmark with a little heart on the front. And another mat. And then this lovely paper. I think this is probably one of my favorites, and I don't know. Let me move it up. Can you see the pretty, just subtle in the background, the music? I think that is just gorgeous. But you can put a lot of pictures in a book like this. Now I wanted to bring your attention to these little goodies in the corner here and here. I don't know if I can get close enough to see, and you probably can't tell on camera, but they're almost rubbery. They're the strangest things I've ever seen. My friend Paula sent me 2 sets, and I just happened to find them. Don't know when she sent them to me. So I sent her a note, and I said, hey, Paula, I love these things. Where'd you find them? Dollar Tree. I never find anything at the dollar stores. And she said she's gone back and back and back and never found them again. But if you find anything like this is how the one banner looked, and this is the only 2 hearts, and I had these and a few others on the other sheet. They are well worth the money because they're just very, very different texture. Moving on to the next page, I have a side pocket here that I put some trim over. This is cut from the paper, this beautiful, and I ran it through my Big Shot with a dotted Swiss folder. I don't know if you can see the little dots in it. Again, carried through with 3 of the little pearls on it. Another tag, and then a big mat here, and then room to put a photo back behind or put things in the pocket. And I like to put things like this here because it keeps everything from falling out of your book. You kind of have a stopper there, so I just put this little cluster down. This is one of my favorite pages. This is from Fussy Cut from the paper, and I cut the middle part out with a circle die, and then I made a little thing to go in, so you know how big to cut your picture to put behind. And it looked kind of naked there, so I took that same stamp again and just stamped it, so until you get the picture in the book, you have something pretty to look at there. And then these are all just glued down for accent, so that you basically have the one photo on this picture, but really pretty. And don't you love this element? This is just a flat element, but what I did, it's an envelope with the butterfly on the top. I kind of folded it on each one of these lines and then ran my ink pad over the top, so it accented it even more, so it gave you that, definitely that dimension of a envelope, even though it's flat. Okay, on the next page I have a belly band here with another Prima flower, and I believe this is a Webster's element. I really dug through. I'm trying to use things I have. We all have so many things stuck back in our stash that I was trying to pull things out that have been sitting and not used and forgotten, like these elements that Paula sent me. Okay, so I have a butterfly, and I just clip between the wings to give it a little bit more fluttery look. Here's another one of these beautiful elements, those rubbery little stick-on elements. Another mat, same things, and I picked up the same colors. Now, if this is a little waffly because of spraying it, I think when you got a picture on the front and a picture on the back, it would be fine. If you didn't like this, you can take a dry iron and iron it until it gets flat enough for you. I'm not going to worry about it because I think the photos will take care of it. Down here I have another one of the words from the collection. This is Magnificent. Oh, for heaven's sake, I can't say it. You know what I mean. And I used the same dotted swish folder and that little bit of that trim that I had here on it. And then I just inked the edges and kind of ran my ink pad over the dotted swiss so that it would pull it forward. On this side, this is another element cut from the paper, another one of the acetate butterflies, a little square. Oh, and this is another stamp. This is, I don't remember what this one is called. It's another Kaisercraft one. I've had it forever, and I really think, I don't have it written down here, but I think it's called Royal Windsor because that's what it is there. But it's just a great strip one. And again with the, pardon me, with the seam binding at the top, and another huge mat, and another great place for a photo behind. Now these mats that are in the side mats, because they're so large, you could actually put just shy of a 5x7 photo. You could get 8 5x7 photos in just the mats here. Now here's another one of the Prima flowers, a Prima butterfly. This love is from the collection. This is from the collection, just fussy cut out. Here I have a little one that pops up like this, that you can put journaling or your pictures. This is fussy cut from the paper. This part here is just fussy cut from the paper and backed, so it creates a nice little pocket here. There we go. And then on this side, I have another, I've cut the flower and the leaves out and backed it on the cream, but then I inked it with the green, so it picks up this green. This is from the paper. Love, love, love this image. I found these butterfly, I don't even remember getting them or where they came from. I think somebody gave them to me, but I have nobody's name on it to thank. So if you gave them to me, thank you. But I believe they were a Prima. And here again, but they're just great as an accent to stick in because these have butterflies. Now I only have the one little thing in here, but as you can see, you've got lots of room. You could stick a lot of mats or a lot of photos right underneath here. This one says graceful underneath. And then on this one, this is another one of those big, beautiful hearts that were on this sticker sheet. I don't remember how many were on it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 8, but wow, what a deal. And another mat that's stuck underneath here, and because this is a pocket, then we have a great big one that slides in. I just love doing the mats with this color. It just gives so much more vitality to the book until you get your actual pictures or memorabilia or whatever into the book. A couple more tickets and another one of Meg's flowers. This is the bottom half of something I tore off where it, oh, here's the top half of it. And here's the bottom half of it. So don't be afraid to tear your elements and just use little pieces. When you tuck them underneath, you don't know that the whole thing is there, but you don't need the whole thing. You only need a little piece here and a little piece here because it gives the illusion of having everything, and that way your elements stretch that much further. On this side, another cluster with this great little gal here. And then we have another one of these square tags and a little book. And this is pretty good size too. Let me see how big this one is. Just 1 second. This is 5 by 5 or 5 by 6? 5 by 5.5. So you can get a pretty good size photos in here too, and there's room for 4 there. Again, I just took the paper and I split it, and I glued this part directly to the book, left this part free to form my pocket because the paper was so pretty I didn't want to destroy it. And then this just slides in. And then on the back, I just have the little gal I fussy cut, one of the little pieces, and I had a key that I just put down here as an added element. And then I put this on the back, this book plate on the back. Now, let me tell you about the cover. I had this all covered with the Spellbinders paper, which I have used many times and I just love. It never cracks on me, so I'm telling you, it was not the paper, it was operator air. I got a little bit heftier. I was going to push it where I wanted it. Well, I think what I did is when I put my book together, I didn't leave enough of a room between the front and the spine, and I cracked it. I cracked it on both sides here and up here. Well, I didn't want to throw it away, and I thought, you know, I'm going to try something that I had just seen recently. And what you do is you take this is a brown paper bag like you get at the grocery store, and you tear it into all kinds of little pieces. Just tear it apart any old way. And then you take, I use Collage Page by Eileen's. I really like this stuff because it dries clear. Well, this one is matte, but you don't see anything. It's not a shiny look to it, and I didn't want shine. And then you just start gluing, like we used to decoupage. And you just glue your pieces, and you can see, here, let's do that one. You can see how they kind of go one over the other. And I just kept gluing and gluing. Oh my goodness, how strong this makes the book now. And you can see my book lays flat because I could really put pressure on it to get it to lay down the way I wanted to. I love when I can do a book that is flat this way. Now, another reason it's flat is I don't have big bulky flowers or items. I primarily have paper or the butterflies, things that lay flat as they're down. And it depends on what you like. If you like beautiful, beautiful flowers in here, you have more than enough room to add them because the gussets are 1/2 inch here. So you have lots of room to put them in. And see, you can see here how much room there is that you could still put things in. But then your book won't lay flat like here. So it depends on what you want. But anyway, back to the cover. After I had gotten everything on here and let it dry, that was a secret, let it dry. And I didn't cover it to the front. I just took it to the edge. And then I took like a heavy-duty nail file. And I just kind of carefully went around the edge. And you can see some spots it took right down, but ooh, to me, there's here and like here. That just gives the book all the more character. And then, again, I took more Glimmer Mist. I had Suede, Coffee Shop, and this, what is this one? Crushed Shells. And I just started spraying and taking a baby wipe and smoothing them over until I got the color, the depth, and the sheen. Okay, can you see it's hard to show you on camera, but it really glistens. It's a really pretty look to it. And I just kept until I got the look that I liked. And then I put my elements over the top. But if you're wanting a really, really sturdy book, this is fantastic. Or if you do like I did, if you crack the spine and you don't want to toss it, and I really didn't want to put lace on the spine, it wasn't fitting with whatever was in my mind. So that is a great way, and I've never done this before. So that'll give you another idea. So thank you for joining me. Check out Meg's store. I will leave a link to her store and the items I've used here and on my blog post. Thank you very much. Come back soon and I'll be showing you what I did with the leftovers. Have a very great crafty day. Thank you everyone for joining me.